is acting like an international gangster, threatening to trample over the sovereignty of an ally, threatening the end of NATO altogether, and now threatening to hit our country and 7 European allies with outrageous, damaging tariffs unless he gets his hands on Greenland. This is an incredibly grave moment for the United Kingdom, Europe, and our world. Without provocation or justification, the President of the United States is attacking our economy, our livelihoods, and our national security. Trump has put British businesses and jobs on the front line in his unprovoked aggression. The only people cheering him on are Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping. Only a few months ago, Trump hailed the special relationship at Windsor Castle. Now, thanks to his actions, it is nearly in tatters. So how do we stop Trump's damaging trade war? For a year now, Madam Deputy Speaker, the Prime Minister has tried a policy of appeasing Trump, flattering him, fawning over him, refusing to stand up to him, because he argued otherwise Trump would hit us with damaging tariffs. Well, the Prime Minister has tested his approach to destruction. It has failed. It is time for the government to change course. We have to finally be clear-eyed about the sort of man Trump is and treat him accordingly. He is a bully. He thinks he can grab whatever he wants using force if necessary. And he is corrupt. The most corrupt president the United States has ever seen. So there are only 2 ways of getting him to back down: bribing him with a new jet perhaps, or a few billion in his crypto account, or standing up to him like we would with any other bully, standing together with our European allies to make him back down. That's the choice. Which one, Foreign Secretary?
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 4, and verse 17. This matter is by the decree of watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whosoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
We'll start by giving our praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. My name's Brother Napak, and who I got me is
The brother Nagat.
we're the brothers from the GMS Temple Branch. And we want to get double honors to elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Peace and blessings to hopeful elects and the ones listening in. And we just want to get into a quick lesson because this is one of the recent articles, or things that just came out to the public. With the UK leader, all right, labeling Trump as an international gangster, all right, because he's not wrong.
Right.
All right, and really that's ultimately all these Edomites. They're the original gangsters, the original niggas, savages, take and steal and do all these different type of things. All right, all these different type of unjust acts. All right, and try to paint themselves as a hero later on in the future. So right now we're witnessing that very unjust act now. All right, Trump is doing, all right, unto even his own allies. Okay, that's why the scripture says you can't really trust the devil, man. All right, so now they're talking about, all right, which they're all the devil. They're all Satan, They're all, that's why now they just all going against each other because Esau's kingdom divided. But now they're talking about all the European allies rise up against Trump and fight Trump like he's Thanos. All right, and they're the Avengers. All right, but ultimately, all this is happening because of the Lord. It's not of Trump, all right? You can't, they think, why is he doing this, What he obviously understands this can cause a great war, WW3. Why does he still intend to make it worse and worse and worse and burning all the bridges for himself, all right, for America? And it's because the Lord is having him do it.
Right.
All right? This is the Lord's kingdom. This is the Lord's who's doing. The Lord is playing, with Trump like a puppet.
Mm-hmm.
All right? The Lord got the strings behind Trump's, back. Okay?
Right, the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai sitteth at the reins of man's heart.
Exactly.
Right, so the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is controlling Trump. Slacking. The Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is controlling Trump like water.
Mm-hmm.
Right, whatever the Lord wants, it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and whatever prophecy says going to happen, it's going to happen.
Exactly.
You can do nothing against the truth but for it.
Mm-hmm.
So any way Trump try to go, it's going to lead to prophecy.
That's right. It's going to lead to him fulfilling prophecy that the Lord has set down for him to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Trump don't even really understand why he doing what he doing.
Right.
To be honest. All right? He may think, oh, yeah, I'm going to go take everything over and I'm going to go, I'm going to be at the top of the world. All right? But ultimately, it's just the Lord giving him that mindset. Scripture says, because the pride of his heart hath deceived thee.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this devil think he finna be at the top, finna do whatever he want. He can bully that's what they called him, as a bully. All right, and that's what a bully is. He's very prideful and he got a lot of ego, and he look down on the others. All right, he takes what he wants. All right, and that's what Trump is doing. He's taking what he wants. All right, so just to bring this back, but in the NLT, it says Daniel 4 verse 17, for this has been decreed by the messengers, it is commanded by the holy ones, so that everyone may know that the Most High rules over the kingdoms. The Most High rules over the kingdoms of the world, Salakia. He gives them to anyone he chooses, even to the lowest of people. So the Lord, he gives the kingdom that, the rulership to anyone he pleases, even the bases of people, the base men, just Esau Edom.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's who's ruling right now. Okay, so we fully understand that. Okay, these devils got the kingdom right now because the Lord has ordained them and given them the kingdom. So we can't do nothing against it until the Lord does something about it. All right. So understanding that, we just doing what we got to do. Fulfilling our lots.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Just as this man is fulfilling his lot. Okay. Trump is fulfilling the lot that the Lord has given to him. All right. So he can, bring in prophecy. All right. He can bring America closer to his doom. All right, because that's all he's doing is bringing America closer and closer to his doom. Okay, and we come into a time where all these nations, all these countries, all right, no one's going to be able to trust America and Israel. Okay, so everyone's going to turn against America and Israel, man, and ultimately it's going to be an all-out war from there. All right, you got Trump going against NATO, man. So it's only to get worse, man. And it's all for prophecy's sake in the scriptures. Okay. So understanding that, bro, we rejoice. All right, seeing this, man. Seeing the European leaders, all right, come up, all right, like the Avengers, and try to recruit every leader and ally they can to come up against Thanos. All right, because this is their end game.
Right.
All right.
Scripture says we look for new heavens and a new earth.
Exactly.
Right. That's why we looking forward and rejoicing to the downfall of Babylon, aka America.
Exactly.
Right. Scripture says.
Hold on. If just to add on to that point, if you see Endgame, after Thanos, he snapped his fingers. Later on in the movie, or in that fight, you see Thanos, he was all sick. All right, he was sick. He was destroyed himself. Okay, and it's the same thing with Trump. The same thing is gonna happen with Trump. Is he's gonna only destroy himself, all right, and his kingdom with it.
Right.
But if the Lord doesn't come back, he's going to destroy the whole world. That's why the Lord going to have to come back to save his elect, all right, and to ultimately save the rest of the world, bro. You know, and America got to be destroyed.
Right.
All right, you had a scripture?
Yeah, I got a quick precept. Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 8. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. And the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit.
Oh, so bad to begin with thing to the end of it. All right. It says better than the end.
Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof.
Yeah. So better is the ending of a thing than the beginning thereof, because the beginning of this Esau's rulership was our hell.
Right.
All right. You know, but we coming to the end of it now. So we rejoice. You know, we giving our praises to the Lord Yahweh Shemiah Rashad, man, because we seeing that we getting closer and closer to the finish line, to where America, Babylon is going to be destroyed, and, you know, Israel is going to rise back up. All right? And the Lord's going to come back. We seeing that, bro. It's here. Okay? Prophecy is already coming out, unfolding out of the book, out of the scriptures, man. So brothers are rejoicing. Brothers are proud, bro. Brothers are happy, bro. Like, y'all looking at Trump crazy. You looking at Trump like, do your worst, nigga.
Right.
Do the worst you can before the Lord get back and destroy you. Okay? Because ultimately, all he's going to do is burn up all his bridges, all right, which is going to end up burning up America as well.
Right.
Okay? And what did the Lord say? What am I? I bring fire, but what am I if it already be kindled? And that fire is already being kindled here. All right? And the Lord's going to come back, and he's going to add the extra lighting on a candle. All right? And just burn the whole cake down. Okay? You know, so this is the times we're coming into, bro. We understand that, and we prepare for it, bro. Okay? This is Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach, chapter 12 and verse 10. It says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness." So you can never trust your enemy, bro. Trump came in here, all right, saying all the things that Jake wanted to hear, everybody else wanted to hear, all right, and they had faith in Trump. You know, these heathens, and some Jake still got faith in Trump. All right, but this nigga's he a heathen. He's a devil. He's a deceiver. He deceived everybody.
Right.
All right, even his own. He deceived everybody, bro. And now he's showing y'all his horns, his wickedness. The iron is starting to rust, and it rusts really quick. Okay, because it's only been a year in his term. Okay, and he's already starting war with people, bro. So people, you know, Jake that voted for him, or Jake that, you know, because your vote really doesn't matter. We all know that. But Jake that supported this man, all right, now you looking foolish. All right, especially Northern Kingdom, because Northern Kingdom was the main one. All right, the so-called, you know, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, all right, Cubans. They were saying the main ones, you know, vouching to vote for this man, or having their utmost support for Trump. Now he's out there just doing away with everybody.
Right.
Okay. Now he got ICE on the streets. Now he's declaring war against his own people. This nigga against the world.
Right.
At this point, man. All right. Because he, you know, and really, what he think he doing is setting things straight. All right. To assert his authority. Okay. But he has some authority, man, but he's going to try to assert too much authority, and the Lord's going to destroy him and his authority and Esau's rulership, okay? That's what we're coming into, bro. So his iron is rusted, all right? Now I got one more scripture for you, Joachim, and if you got anything else.
I got one.
Go ahead.
This is Psalms 55 and verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
Yep.
His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
Yeah. So his words smoother than butter. You know, Esau know how to talk, man. He know how to use his words. He know how to make you feel good and make you feel all different type of things. But within his heart, was a drawn sword.
Mm-hmm.
War. All right? Everything he was contemplating on and thinking about what he gonna do for real. All right? But what's coming out of his mouth is completely different. It's
Right.
deceit. It's deception. And that's these devils' main thing, and their main weapon up their arsenal is to be able to deceive. Okay? So just like the serpent. Esau is the serpent. He deceives, man. He comes and he deceives you with good things and tells you all the things you want to hear. All right? So you can trust him. And that's why the scripture says, never trust thy enemy.
Right.
That's why, he gonna come humble himself down. All right? And actually, let's go ahead and bring that back real quick. That was on that?
Go on.
Verse 11 says, though he humble himself, this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and be aware of him. It says, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not altogether wiped away. So this man was impeached his first term. Then he come back. What y'all thought changed? The nigga became worse.
Right.
So it's like you wipe a looking glass, then you can see, this nigga ain't changed at all.
Right, this same nigga.
Yeah. But he came, to be able to be president again. He came humble, crouching down, telling y'all the things that you want to hear, all right, to gain your support. Okay. But now he's taking matters into his own hands, man. All right. It says, this is Psalm chapter 75 and verse 7. But Yahweh is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. NOT says, it is Yahweh alone who judges. He decides who will rise and who will fall.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, the Lord is the judge, man. The Lord decides who rises and who falls and who has the power and who doesn't. And he decides what this man's going to do with that power. So, ultimately, the Lord has, put Trump into this power. Risen Trump up again. All right? Because the Lord knows what he's going to do with him. He's going to use him for his purpose. Same thing when Trump fall out of power, or Esau fall out of power, Jacob's going to come in. The Lord knows what he's going to do with Jake. All right? And they're going to have the kingdom forever, everlasting. All right? But anything else?
No, that was
But just a quick touch on that, through the Spirit, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect and the ones listening in. We're going to end this off by giving our praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakadash. All right, and once again, double honor to elders and apostles of Great Millstone who treat you well. Shalom, Maki.
Shalom.